All right, today we're going to deconstruct one of the wildest life hacks I've ever seen on the internet. And yeah, you can forget your toolbox because for this repair, we're heading straight to the pantry. Okay, that is the sound of pure, unfiltered panic. You know the feeling, right? The kind that hits you when you find a total disaster happening in your own house. And that's exactly where our story kicks off today. It all starts with a little puddle on the kitchen floor. A busted pipe, maybe? But that little puddle, it blossoms into this full-blown sense of absolute dread. I mean, we've all been there, right? It's that moment of crisis. You need a fix, and you need it now. And when you're that desperate, where do you go? The internet, of course. And oh boy, that is where things get interesting. So, this brings us to the main event. We're talking about a viral life hack that claims it can fix your plumbing with, well, with your lunch. Yep, you heard me, the ramen repair. It's literally a technique where you take your emergency instant noodles and turn them into, like, an industrial-grade sealant. And what kills me is how seriously this whole trend is presented. It's talked about like it's a totally legit home repair method. So you're probably wondering, how in the world do you actually pull off this culinary construction miracle? Well, let's dive into the absolutely chaotic tutorial. Okay, so first you gather your highly specialized materials. Then you smash up that ramen and pack it in there really good and tight. Next up, you just douse the whole thing in superglue. And then, and this is the important part, step 4. A little warning that, hey, since this is an animated life hack, things in the real world might get a little unpredictable. And believe it or not, there's actually some pseudoscience behind all this madness. Apparently the stuff in the superglue, the cyanoacrylate, is supposed to react with the starches in the ramen, and it creates this super hard plastic-like seal. I mean, it almost sounds legit, right? But then you get the side effects. Those chemical fumes, they might make you say some really weird stuff. Which brings me to a super important point. Please, please open a window. And for the love of everything, do not eat the glue. Okay, so this is the part of the story where our little life hack takes a really, really dark turn. This is the moment the repair starts to, well, fight back. And you know, that's a question you should probably always ask yourself before you decide to mix your lunch with industrial-strength glue to fix your plumbing. Like, what is the absolute worst thing that could possibly happen here? Man, you can just feel the desperation in this, the sheer commitment to the hack, even when it's so obvious things are starting to go completely off the rails. And there it is. That's the punchline. Your little quick fix didn't just fail, it became sentient. You didn't just patch a leak, my friend. You created a monster. All right, so your sink is now a writhing beast made of starch and pure rage. Now what? What do you do? Well, lucky for us, the source material actually has a handy little survival guide. And the advice it gives is shockingly simple for such an absolutely insane situation. So if it bites you, the recommended response is just a simple ow. But if it actually becomes sentient, the solution, of course, is to offer it some ice cream. But what about the really advanced scenarios? What if your little creation breaks free from the sink and starts flying around the room like a helicopter? Well, the official advice at that point is just run. Just cut your losses and abandon the house. And this right here, this just captures the beautiful, completely unhinged logic of this whole thing. You've just created a sentient, flying noodle monster that has forced you to flee your own home, and the takeaway is still, but hey, think of the money you saved on a plumber. Which really just leaves us with one last big question. The next time you have a plumbing disaster, what are you going to do? Call a professional? Or are you going to head to the pantry and decide if you're in the mood for chicken, beef, or maybe shrimp-flavored chaos? The choice, my friends, is yours.